everybody, and welcome back to Shosh's Art Haven. I've been threatening to do a video for ages about my Inkylicious Ink Dusters, which are these. You can see, I really can't see what I'm doing with the camera, but I hope you can see that. And I've had these for quite a long time, and as you can see, they're getting well used. They're double-ended, so you've got the opportunity to use 6 different colour groups really. So I've got, that's for my blues and purples. I've put the greens on there and brown, and that's used exclusively for black. And then I've got my reds and my yellows really on there. They're quite nice and thick, and they're very, very soft, and they blend absolutely beautifully. So I'm going to do a few demonstration pieces of video just to show you how they work. Hope you enjoy it. Right, these are my ink dusters, and I'm just going to do a few little demonstrations of some of the things that you can do with them. And I'm using my Tim Holtz Distress Inks, and first of all I've just got an ordinary piece of scrap paper here, and I'll just put some ink on my craft mat. Now, some people do work directly from the ink pad, but I find it's better to do it off the pad. You can see what you're doing a bit better. This is the end that I'm using for my reds and pinks and oranges. Put a bit on there. That should be in shot. And you want to just dibble the brush in the ink and then work it into the bristles a little bit. And then you can see this is just paper, and it's so gentle that you can come up to the edge and just go like this. But you can see how gentle it is, that it will even go on the edge of paper, and you hold it like a pencil, so it's a lot more natural than you know, with the little pads or the blending tool. Then I've got my Dusty Concord. You can see how beautifully they blend. It's absolutely great. You can build up the colours. They do shed quite a bit of hair, but it doesn't matter. Just blow it away. Doesn't matter. And you can fade it out to nothing. It's so gentle. So that's the sort of impression you can get. I don't know whether you can see that, whether that's showing up properly. Anyway, that's just on scrap paper. And what I did before I started with before I put the camera on, I cut a few pieces of just plain white cardstock as ATCs. So if I want to use them, then I can afterwards. And with these two, I've stamped them. And I don't know whether that's going to show up. It might. It's really hard to tell on the camera. I'll just turn them around in the light, you'll probably see then. They're done with clear embossing powder. And that acts as a resist, and it's really very, very pretty. So with this butterfly one, I'm going to use that same colour combination. A bit of spun sugar again. The spun sugar at the top, so I'm going to just start working, distressing the edges, gentle circular motion, and gradually working downwards. And as I work down, you'll see the butterflies emerging, which is really rather fun. And of course you can use as many colours as you want. You can blend in bands or circles or whatever you like, really. And as you do it, you can build up the colour. There, you see, there's that butterfly emerging now. You can see that. They are the ones just starting to come. And then you can start going like this a bit, build up the colour. And as long as the ink is well blended on the brush, then you can do this. You can see there's a little bit of embossing powder just there, which is acting as a resist, which I don't really want, but I don't think I probably need to put any more ink on that craft mat now. I'll just continue blending down with what's on the brush. Now you can see the big butterfly starting to emerge. It's really hard to get this just right. I don't know whether this light is quite there. So that's really blended down, and there's no hard line at all. See, it just disappears down into the white. Right, now I've still got some of the Dusty Concord on my craft mat, so I'm going to use that and work up from the bottom. This is a much stronger colour, so I'm going to go very gently and go from the bottom. With the strong colours it's quite easy to get streakiness on there, so I have to go more gently. I'm going very gently now. Much better to build up gradually than to put a whole lot on all at once. Now you can see that butterfly is now showing, and how nicely the colours blend together with this. It's absolutely great. Now I think I've used all the ink on the craft mat. I think I'm going to put some more on because I want to make that darker at the bottom. I'm going to put a bit more on, but not too much. And if you keep doing this, it builds up really nicely. You can get quite intense colour. You can see these in action. Also, I'll put a link up for the Waves mechanical card that I made for my hubby for his birthday this year, and I used the ink dusters for doing the waves in the inside the pop-up part of the card. I just love the way they blend. It's so gentle. It's really nice. A little bit more. Then you could put some black soot distress ink or something on as well if you wanted it really dark at the bottom. Just gradually blend the colours together. There. I think that is just great. It's really pretty. Now I went to a craft show last year and I saw this done with, not with the ink dusters, but just with an ordinary, I can never remember what it's called. Is it called cut and dry or wet and dry? I can never remember. Cut and dry, I think, the foam that you make the little pads out of for blending, and she was using some of that. And what she did afterwards, she used the stamped the embossing powder as a resist like that, and then she got the same stamp again and stamped again, just slightly offset. These are some that I did. Those are very similar, those two slightly different colours, but you can see again how the ink has been blended. And I used this leaf stamp, and then after I'd done the inking, I stamped again but slightly offset with a darker colour, and when that was dry I went over it with a baby wipe just to clean the ink off the embossing powder, and it makes it look really three-dimensional, like a shadow. And that was the other one that was the same as that. Of course, anymore. That one I did in a similar sort of way, but not really to look so much like a shadow, but just more of an echo of what I'd done. And that one I painted with Perfect Pearls. And similarly with that one, you see I've done black stamping on that, but nowhere near the original motif, so that was just added on, and then I inked the card itself, and that's that way up actually, and then stamped with the similar colours just randomly over the top, so that makes a nice border. So that's another similar one. I didn't do stamping on that, I just did the blending and nice sort of dark browns and oranges, and again done with that one's done with gold Perfect Pearls, that one's done with copper Perfect Pearls, and that's done with silver Perfect Pearls. So I think it's a very nice technique, it's lovely to do. So that's that one. So I think I'll leave that as it is. I'm not going to do the shadow on that one. And then before I started filming, in addition to doing, I'll do that one in a minute. That's the swirl one. Here's some different colours of that. I inked a card and then stamped it with the clear embossing powder and embossed it. And I thought what I'd do with that, because you can see the colour through the embossing, I'd just go over that with another colour. So I'm going to, so that the embossing powder will act as a resist, but it won't be white, it'll be whatever colour was underneath. And I thought for that I'd use a bit of chipped sapphire, and if that's not dark enough then I'll put some black soot on it. So a tiny bit of that. I really don't want this too much, I just thought I'd just go like this very gently. It should start to reveal the butterfly as a lighter colour. Can you see that? And I don't want to go over the whole ATC with with this dark blue. It's not quite showing up quite enough at the top, so I'm going to put a little bit of black soot on there. It's coming. Not too much of that. I've got one ink duster which is just devoted to black. Oh, this could come out really fierce, so I've got to be very gentle with it. A stipple as well, like this, like a stencil brush. It's not showing up very well at all because it's quite dark anyway behind the black. The Dusty Concord is quite dark. It's really dark in the middle, and it'll show up these butterflies a bit better. That's gone a bit streaky. You see what I mean? That, if you just dab on, it's gone a bit streaky. I hope I'll be able to redeem that. It does blend in quite well. There, I think that shows up quite nicely. So that's just a variation rather than just doing it with the white. I think that's quite nice.